It is another beautiful day in paradise, my friends. The crackdown on illegal immigration continues on, and right now there is a massive operation underway in Minnesota, the land of Somali fraud, where all those garbage non-citizens have been stealing billions of dollars from we the American people, and more specifically the folks down in Minnesota. This is from the Post-Millennial. The Department of Homeland Security is launching a massive immigration crackdown in Minnesota after Somali fraud probe. Tricia McLaughlin said the department has already made more than 1,000 arrests of murderers, rapists, pedophiles, and gang members, and of course, non-citizens. Federal immigration authorities have launched what the Department of Homeland Security is describing as its largest enforcement operation to date in Minnesota, following a major welfare fraud investigation into the state. The DHS posted on Tuesday, "Good morning, Minneapolis," on X, announcing the operation. The largest DHS operation ever is happening right now, they wrote, in Minnesota. President Donald Trump and Kristi Noem have rallied DHS law enforcement personnel to keep Americans safe and eradicate fraud. We are not leaving until the problem is solved. And, here's the beautiful thing. We know that the fraud that's happening right now in Minnesota is just a microcosm for the fraud that's happening all over the country, specifically in sanctuary Democrat-run states, where the fear of being called racist, among other things, has kept people from investigating the blatant and rampant fraud. Mark my words, California is going to be on the list at some point, and it is going to be a massive undertaking to root the fraud out from there. But, hopefully we're going to see some lawmakers get taken away in chains, because there's no way that this operation has gone this long without some elected officials knowing about it. And I think the same thing will apply in Minnesota. Now, in a statement to The Hill, the DHS Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin said the department has already made more than 1,000 arrests of murderers, rapists, pedophiles, and gang members. Here's a video. Let's check this out. It is so beautiful to see people getting arrested. I don't know about you, but this just makes me happy. Hoorah. Going to jail, going home. Oh, he knows.
We'll take you in for processing.
Guy needs to go on a diet, too.
We'll take you in.
What? Okay.
Just keep the sweep. Keep the sweep going. My God, this makes me happy. I don't know about you. Amazing. And we just need to see more and more and more of this happening. You got to see more of this stuff happening. And wonderful to hear that they got 1,000 people in this brief period of time in Minnesota. And keep in mind, this needs to ramp up, and I think it's going to. I still think at some point we're going to see mass deportation, probably in the second half of Trump's final term, probably after the midterms, my guess. But I'm going to stick my neck out and predict that that's going to happen at some point. It's going to ramp up. Now, the DHS has not confirmed the total number of agents involved. CNN and CBS News reported that roughly 2,000 Homeland Security personnel are expected to be deployed as part of the operation. So the enforcement surge is following an ongoing welfare fraud scandal, which pretty much everybody knows about now, unless you've been living under a rock, in Minnesota, that has drawn international attention. The massive controversy played a big role into Tim Walz's recent announcement that he will not seek re-election. Yeah, his political career is finished, and possibly, this is just me speculating, but I think he may yet end up facing some charges at some point. Just depends on what he knew and for how long. Now, the Trump administration has blamed members of the state's Somali population to the widespread fraud and has warned that citizenship could be revoked for those found to be involved. Yeah, they're essentially pulling the Italian move and creating their own mafia. What you're seeing now is the beginning stages of that power grab, because with that kind of money, you're opening the door for some severe violence down the road.
We have the largest immigration operation ever taking place right now. It's a great effort by ICE. Both of our components, enforcement removal operations and Homeland Security investigations, they're on the ground. HSI agents, have you seen in the media, have been going door to door to a lot of these suspected, companies that are not only hiring.
This is what Trump's supporters voted for. If there was ever an issue that gets the Trump base, I think, excited, it's seeing this kind of stuff happen. There's still tens of millions of people that need to be deported, but the more that this happens, the better.
Illegal aliens that shouldn't even be in the country, but also being involved in potential human smuggling, human trafficking cases, but also looking at these fraud cases as well. But one thing we should really note, too, is the fact that states like Minnesota that have a strong sanctuary city policy and sanctuary protections do attract other.
Well, yeah, because you're hiding. Sanctuary status itself should be criminal in my book. I won't go so far as to say treasonous, but it is on the cusp in my book, because you are aiding and abetting people who are breaking into our country. Well, whatever, here we are.
Illegal aliens to come there to take advantage of welfare, public assistance, SNAP benefits. And that's just a magnet that brings that criminal element that can hide in plain sight. And that's what we're finding up in Minnesota. Very proud to say the Secretary of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem, she was up there today. She ran an awesome, successful operation, got a suspected murderer and a wanted rapist that was hiding, again, in plain sight in Minneapolis. And that's what ICE agents are doing on the ground up there. They're up there taking the fight to these sanctuary jurisdictions that allow these criminally illegal aliens to roam the street and take advantage of the public assistance that should be there for every taxpaying American.
Yeah, let's talk.
And that, of course, is just the tip of the iceberg. Now, on Tuesday, Noem shared a video footage of an arrest in Minneapolis, which we watched, claiming the suspect was in the country illegally and wanted abroad. Another murder and sexual predator off of Minneapolis' streets, thanks to ICE. Adding that the individual had an active warrant for murder and sexual assault in Ecuador. Well, of course, why not? So there you go, my friends. The ramp up is continuing. And look, when you're talking about 25 to 30 million people in the country illegally at the beginning of Trump's second term, you have a monumental task. Now, here's the thing. We haven't even gotten to mass deportation. But last year, there were over 600,000 deportations. I think roughly about 622,000 was the government's formal numbers, I believe. And then there were self-deportations, and that was 1.9 million. So we managed roughly about 2.5 million people remove year one. And they're going to be ramping up this year. My expectation is you're going to see a doubling of deportations, direct deportations by our government this year. And the self-deportations will probably either remain the same or will escalate. So I think year two, you're going to be looking at 3 to 4 million people gone. And so then now you're looking at 6.5, 7 million, which again is crucial and critical if you want to remove the 25 to 30 million. It's not the numbers that I think we need to be at, but it is on the way. So you take what you can get and continue to ramp it up. And meanwhile, everything else that's happening globally, there is a power shift that is going to be happening globally that I don't think anyone would have or could have predicted just a couple of years ago would happen. So anyway, just keep an eye on it, and we'll be watching these deportations with renewed interest.